There are a lot of things which can be considered to be new if you look at human history. A lot of innovations can be seen as unprecedented. In one of my last videos, I talked about the news and their possible negative influence on individuals. A few hundred years ago, for most people, news were only transported through personal interactions by the few people who were traveling between places. Information was barely shared farther than a few days of walking distance. Writing and reading was a privilege which only a few could obtain. Mouth to mouth became writing to eye, and with the invention of the radio and other methods of spreading information over a huge distance and population, things would escalate quickly. Nowadays, there is an unprecedented amount of insight into the lives of people everywhere on this planet. The ability to get information across the globe in a matter of seconds was never seen before, and with the wide availability of social media, the internet has become a place in which all of humanity is reflected in. Of course, there are still exemptions, but at least all of the developed world is in a state of permanent intense interaction. Life has transitioned from the local small circle privateness to the global all-witness tribunal in just under 30 years. Relationships, conflicts, ideas, beliefs, vulnerabilities, and errors are easily put on display for the whole world to judge. Any normal development requires you to fail at one point or another. Back in the day, you would just take the L and move on, just as anyone else involved would do. And even if it was of such significance that it would result in lasting consequences, the scale was much smaller and it was easier to work around them. There are so many videos of people arguing over so many different things in so many different situations out there on the internet. Whole communities are dedicating themselves to being the judge about other people's lives. There's a significant difference between a few second-long clip and actually experiencing a situation with all its senses. There's still no way to fully capture the entirety of factors influencing any social scene. I want you to think about one of the most memorable times you fucked up in a social situation, where you said something or did something which you did out of the moment, out of the emotion, without second thought, which you would regret soon after. How would you feel if these situations would be put on display for millions to see? And even worse, it is captured in a way which doesn't show any of the momentum leading up to the slip-up. Social media might have just become the same as reality TV, but with actual lives on the line. Just as social media isn't designed to give people fair chances, human consciousness isn't designed to deal with judgment from this many people. There are a lot of examples of people's lives being destroyed by such occurrences. And as I said, it is a natural component of every development to fail at some point or another. For 99% of people, this will probably still be having the natural amount of consequences, which will allow you to grow from it. But for the unlucky ones, this will end up on social media where it is engraved forever. It is quite obvious that the number of people suffering from this will only increase with the further digitization of living, and in the end, it would just come down to being lucky to not end up on anyone's front page with one of your worst moments. I hope I could give you something to think about, and that you might give people who are being framed on the internet the benefit of the doubt. Of course, there are also people who are just bad, but usually this cannot be determined by witnessing just one small scene. Not engaging in hate might cost you energy now, but letting the hate reduce you will cost you everything.